How to draw a crow. Welcome to Rain Francis Art for Kids. Today I'm going to show you how to draw this cute crow with colored pencils and markers. I'll show you how to do this step by step. This is an easy drawing lesson for kids, beginners, and kids of all ages. Hi everyone! Welcome to Rain Francis Art for Kids. My name is Rain. In this series, Halloween Party, we draw and paint and create everything that has to do with this spooky season of Halloween. So let's begin. This is what you'll need for today's drawing. You're going to need a piece of paper. I have my dollar store drawing pad here. It's 11 inches by 8.5. You're going to need a pencil and an eraser. I have an old paintbrush that I use to dust off my page. And for color today, we're using coloring pencils and markers. So I have an orangey yellow color and I have a nice pale green color. I also have a bunch of black Sharpie markers of various sizes. And as usual, I have my fine tip black marker for outlining. All right, and I have a fancy little eraser here. It's one of those, retractable erasers that you can push. I like to use that one, but you can use any eraser that you have. Okay, let's start drawing our crow. Now first, let's start with his beak. We're going to draw his beak. So a little bit of a semicircle and wiggly lines on each side. Very easy, right? Those are where that's where his eyes are going to go. But let's finish off the beak. It's round. And it goes down, round, and it goes down, and it's round on the bottom. Okay, so there's his beak. Let's put his eyes in right away, just so we get a reference as to where we're going to put his head. I like those big oval eyes, so I always draw the oval eyes like that. And as for his head, it's going to start maybe about here. We'll just do a round circle for now. Okay. And we'll give him some feathers on the top. Now I'm going to erase that line there because his feathers are all part of his head. It's not separate. Now let's draw his body. His body kind of starts about here and it swoops down. And he's got maybe, I don't know, let's give him 4 feathers at the edge of his tail there. And his belly. His belly starts about halfway down his beak. So let's go like this. And we'll join his belly to the bottom of him. Actually, you know what? We can make him a little bit fatter. He's too skinny. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to make him a little fatter. There we go. And we'll just put a line here for his belly. Okay, actually, we'll do it all the way up to his beak. I'm doing a lot of erasing today. And why don't we go ahead and give him a wing right away? 1, 2, 3 feathers, just like that. Now for his legs, I'm going to do this. A couple of arched lines that get a little thinner at the bottom, and we'll close it up. A couple of arched lines that get thinner at the bottom, like that. And he's got these skinny little legs. 2 sticks, 2 sticks. Okay? And he's got 3 talons. We'll give him 3. Just like that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that is the outline of our crow. All right, so what I'm going to do, well, first, let's give him a smile. We'll start just above his belly, and we've got a smile that comes up like this, and like that. Once we get all the color in, you're going to see how this is going to look. It's going to look really cool. I might make his wing a little bit bigger though, and his body. That's what erasers are for, right? So that we can erase. And I want to erase that line as well, because that's all part of, you know, that's all part of him. I'm just going to redo the body. I want to make him look good. So his head is going to go like this. And I'm going to join his tail a little higher up. That's better. I like that better. So I'm going to give him a bigger wing with 3 feathers. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fine tip black marker and I'm going to outline the whole thing. And then I'm going to erase my pencil marks. And this is optional. You don't have to do that. But I like to outline. I think it looks really nice. And if you are not erasing your pencil marks, just be sure to follow your pencil lines, okay? But like I said, I am going to erase them so it doesn't bother me if I'm not following my pencil lines. We have a lot of crows outside right now. They like to hang around in the fall. Now, I didn't mention, but I don't want you to outline that. Mind you, it doesn't really matter because the crow is going to be black, right? We're coloring it in all black. We're going to put a few highlights in, but I'll show you that after. See, I'm not really following my pencil marks, but that's okay. I'm going to be erasing them. There we go. I've got them all outlined. He's looking pretty happy. Now I'm going to erase my pencil marks, and I always say this, make sure that your marker is dry, okay? My marker dries almost immediately, but some markers take a little time, so just be careful and check to make sure that it's dry before you start erasing, because if you erase while it's wet, you're going to have a smudgy mess, and you don't want that. Just going to erase all of my pencil marks. There we go. Just going to double check because there are a few that I missed here. And I want to make sure I got everything. There we go. All erased. So let's start adding some color. I'm going to start with my orangey yellow color, and I'm going to color in the beak and his legs and his talons down here. Oh, I see a pencil mark that I didn't erase right there. There we go. So I'm going to start by coloring. Now, you could use markers for this if you want. You don't have to use coloring pencils. I just wanted to use coloring pencils and markers today. If you're using coloring pencils, be careful not to press down too hard because you don't want to break the tip of your pencil and you don't want to wear your hand out, right? And you don't have to press down hard, and I'm going to show you after why. But let's just color in this beak. And be careful not to get any orange outside the lines if you can. If not, that's okay. If you're young and you're learning, the most important thing is to have fun, use a lot of color, make the drawing the way you want it. But if you're trying to develop your skills in drawing, I would say pay attention to details and try to stay within the lines. Not to be perfect, but just to teach you to pay attention to details, okay? That's very important in life too. So what we're going to do is we're going to color it in a second time. And that's called adding a second layer of color. That's one layer, one time colored, and now we're doing 2 layers. We color it in 2 times. That's all you have to know about layers right now, is that it means you're coloring it in twice. And if you wanted to do 3 layers, you could do that. That means you're coloring it in 3 times. And you can see the difference between 1 layer and 2 layers. And I'm really not pressing down hard at all. That's the wonderful thing about layering. You can add as much color as you want. Although depending on your pencil, you may not be able to add more than 3 or 4 layers, because these pencils, these are Prismacolor pencils. They're made with wax, just like crayons. So when you apply the color onto the paper, depending on the quality of the paper, you can only put so many layers, and after that it doesn't even go on because there's too much wax built up on the page. But we can at least put 2 or 3, and we get a nice vibrant orangey color here. Isn't that great? I love that. I'm just going to do a 3rd layer real quick, just real quick. There we go. Now, since I have that color out, I'm going to do his legs and his talons. Okay? And I'm going to do 2 layers there too. Maybe 3, we'll see. I have a little hair there. There we go. I have 5 dogs and a cat, so there's a lot of pet hair that flies around this house. And it goes everywhere. All right, so I'm going to add a 2nd layer here. I think a 2nd layer will be enough for the legs and the talons. I went outside the line, but that's okay. There. So now I'm going to take that nice light green color, and if you didn't have a light green, you could use a light gray, a light pink, a light blue. As long as it's light, you could even use a yellow color, because this is going to be the color of the belly, and we're outlining the wing and the eyebrows with this. And I'm going to show you the eyebrows first. We didn't outline them in black. We're just going to go and draw some kind of thick eyebrows here. You see what I did there? And I'm going to color those in with that green color. And I'm turning my pencil once in a while. You should always turn your pencil as you're going so that you don't wear it all down on one side. Especially if the pencil is really finely sharpened. That's when it's the most sensitive to breaking. And turning it very often helps it not to break. So you see what I did there? I just colored in 2 eyebrows, and I'm going to do the outline of the wing. Watch. Just an outline. You see? I'm just doing an outline in that green color. Because when we add the black, we don't want the wing to disappear, right? So if we have a little bit of an outline in another color and we don't color it in with black, we'll be able to see the shape of a wing. I'm just going over it a 2nd time, which means I'm adding a 2nd layer of color. Okay? And now let's do his belly. He's got a nice green belly. Don't forget to turn your pencil and don't press down too hard because we're going to do 2 layers to get the color that we want. All right, now I'm going to do the second layer. I thought about doing this all in coloring pencils, but you know, there's a lot of black. And my black coloring pencil is very small. I have to get another one, so I didn't think I'd be able to use the coloring pencil for this month, actually, the whole month of October, because I'm doing a lot of Halloween-y stuff, and there's a lot of black. So until I get another black pencil, I'm using markers. There we go. We've got all the green done. That's looking cute already. What I'm going to do is fill in the rest of him with black. Now I've got a regular Sharpie marker here, and I'm going to go in and color him in all black. Now we're not going to color in those eyebrows, so let's make sure those green eyebrows stay green. Same thing with the wing. I suppose we could have outlined some eyebrows at the beginning, because that's basically what I'm doing right now. But that's okay. We didn't forget to do them, so. How are you guys doing? I like Sharpie markers a lot, but I don't like the way they smell. They're stinky. Now, the way I color in is I always outline. That's just the way I've always done it. I did that as a kid, and I do it as an adult. I always outline the area that I want to color in, even though it's already outlined with my fine tip marker. I always end up outlining it again with my Sharpie. I don't know why I do that, but I do it. Just want to make sure that I'm not going to get any black into the top of the eyes, so I'm concentrating right now. Okay. We can go ahead and fill in the eyes, actually. The pupils are black. So we want to color in the eyes black. And the same with this one. We'll see how he's coming together there. He's looking kind of cute. So I'm going to just finish up here with the black. Now it's going to be a little tricky around the wings, but we'll do our best. We don't want to erase any of that green, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I want to fill in a little bit more of the green, just around the whole area. There we go. Now the rest is all black. I know I'm outlining a second time. Like I said, that's just the way I do it. But it's good because it helps me to refine my drawing skills, because I'm basically drawing the same bird 3 times. I drew him with pencil, and then I outlined him with my fine tip marker, and now I'm outlining him with my Sharpie, so it's like I'm drawing him 3 times. That gives me good practice. I'm going to start with the tail, because sometimes the Sharpie marker doesn't dry fast, and if I go like this and I put my hand on it, it's going to get all over my hand. So I'm a right-handed person, so I'll start at the left and go right. If you're a lefty, you might want to start at the right and go left, so you don't get your hand filled with marker, if you're using marker. Well, even if you're using coloring pencils, because that can stain your hand too sometimes if you're rubbing on it. I love that little green color. I love it. Okay, I might be getting a little bit of Sharpie on me. I have to be careful here. We have crows all year round, but they love to show up in the fall. I have many bird feeders outside of my house, and they always show up at the bird feeders. But you would be surprised at how scared they are. I don't know if that's the right word. They're not scared, but they're kind of jumpy. Because if they're at the bird feeder and all I do is look out the window and they notice that I'm there, they all fly away. Or if another bird comes by, they'll fly away, you know? You'd think with their size that they could be like, yeah, I'm going to eat this bird seed and you can't scare me. But they're very jumpy. We are using a lot of black today. And I think when I'm done, I might add a little more black around, just to outline with the Sharpie to make it nice and dark. There we go. All done. He looks pretty good. But like I said, I'm going to outline the smile just to make it a little darker, and the entire beak. He reminds me a little bit of Daffy Duck, and his belly, since we used the Sharpie. And I'll do his feet too. What the heck? That's just me being picky. You don't have to outline like I do. I'm outline crazy. And I think that is our crow. He looks pretty good. Now, my friends, I always say I want you to take pride in the beautiful work of art that you just created, so always sign your work. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, my friends, and we will see you next time on Halloween Party. Thanks for watching. Bye.